Hey friends, welcome back to Rose to Row and Astrology. This is your astrology preview for the 28th decan of the year, October 3 through 12, 2023, brought to you by the Three of Swords in Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. First, I want to say, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That helps me out a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, something to keep in mind for the next week or so. Three of Swords keywords are heartbreak, betrayal, and core understanding. So with the Three of Swords, we honor the fact that the truth can sometimes cut you to the core. The truth will set you free. However, getting down to the heart of the matter can be very painful, especially if you learn that you've been deceived or discover that you lied to yourself or fooled yourself about something. Swords are about the intellect, but the rest of this card is very much about emotion. You see dark clouds in the sky, you see the rain falling, the pierced heart. The words may hurt, but these daggers can be removed, and your heart will heal in time. So just so you know, if that's something that you're going through right now, if you're feeling that pain of loss, of having discovered that things are not the way you thought they were, it gets better. It does heal with time. This is a temporary state of being. And this 10-day segment includes the third quarter moon in Cancer this Friday, the 6th. The third quarter is our opportunity to shift gears in the middle of creative decrease. Once we've reflected on the past month's culmination, we come to a point where we know what can be released, and then we start to do it. The third quarter moon is in Cancer, indicating to me that there are some emotional habits we've relied on that may not help us to be at our creative best. Or perhaps there are some old plans or objects that we feel attached to, but that we can release to make room for the bigger, better version of those aspirations to come to life for us. And just taking an overview of the page before I zoom in, I want to point out we do have a lot of transition coming up in the next several days. So expect to see some shifts in your experience. Mercury, which has been in Virgo for a couple of months, retrograde and all, moves on into Libra tomorrow. Venus, which has been in Leo for a few months, retrograde and all, moves on into Virgo on Sunday, and Mars will go ahead into Scorpio next week. This is a little like chess pieces being moved around on the board, shifting the balance of power. Hopefully, we can take advantage of the momentum that comes with these shifts and make some progress of our own. Furthermore, Pluto is stationing direct next week, promising more collective changes in regards to structures, institution, and labor. We also see a lot of quincunx aspects in the next several days, bringing up reasons for us to adjust our plans and trajectory based on what's happening on a larger scale. Some of this is going to involve mystery and confusion. Some of it represents opportunities for personal growth. All of it will require us to stay on our toes. Now, let's go ahead and take this day by day. Tuesday is the 3rd of October. That's today. And we start on a graceful note with Mercury trining Pluto about 17 hours before it moves into Libra. This trine with Pluto makes the transition easy, and though the trine lasts through about the 7th, you could look at this as Mercury's void of course moment. It's a great time to reflect on how the last Mercury retrograde went for you and what has changed about the day-to-day way you go about your business, make plans, and talk to people. Also today, Venus strikes a quincunx mode of accommodation with Neptune retrograde. Venus is in the final days of its Leo transit, and Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. So this is a fire and water situation where water has the advantage. Our desire to shine and be well regarded in our relationships is looking for ways to stay afloat on the sea of imagination, creativity, spiritual longing. The sun in Libra is ruled by Venus right now, and it reminds us that there is strength in numbers. We are a beacon of hope when we shine together. This adjustment hangs with us through about the 6th, and includes a special chart formation that emphasizes Venus's power to grow through the changes. Tomorrow is Wednesday the 4th, when Mercury moves on into Libra. Mercury in Libra turns our minds toward what seems fair. And that word fair has a double meaning, one that has to do with equity, and the other is about beauty. Elegance is another word that arises with two meanings, because elegance can be described as a form of beauty, but also in terms of a plan or policy that is simple and works well for everyone. So we're interested now in our day-to-day lives in elegant and equitable plans that help us feel as though we're taking and giving what is fair. Furthermore, Mercury is going to join the Sun and Mars in Libra, creating a powerhouse for getting justice done. We have the motivation, we have the power and the intellect to tackle matters that require a balanced resolution. So if there's some matter of injustice in your life that feels as though it's holding you back, this next 9 or 10 days are truly a golden time to set something in motion that will bring back that sense of fair play you need in your life. I suggest you check your chart to see what house Libra is in. For example, Libra is in my 4th house, which represents my home life. So the balance that I seek has something to do with striking a balance within my home and with the people I keep close. Full speed ahead. Mercury in Libra is only a few weeks long through the 23rd of October before it moves on into Scorpio. The next day is Thursday the 5th. Mercury has a quincunx adjustment to make with Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Saturn retrograde in Pisces has been working to dissolve all kinds of structures, institutions, and boundaries. And Mercury in Libra wants us to find a personal balance that allows those structures to fall while being concerned about what is equitable for those who are displaced. I expect our attention to be drawn to world events that involve the literal crumbling of edifices for us to seek ways to contribute that also don't put our own structures in jeopardy. And this is a brief aspect. It only stays with us for a day through the 6th, and then the beat goes on. Also that day, Mars makes a quincunx accommodation to Neptune retrograde. We are called upon to adjust our course of action when the way forward isn't clear. The strategy is to act on facts, not faith. Make no assumptions, okay, through about the 9th of October. Friday the 6th is the 3rd quarter moon in Cancer and springing off point for justice magic. The 3rd quarter moon represents a stage in our creative cycle when we jettison stuff and things, thoughts, attitudes, and emotional attachments that no longer serve a purpose for us. And we do this until we reach the new moon, which is the end of our decrease cycle and our moment to pause and appreciate what we have before dreaming up more goals and aspirations. So how, may you ask, does all this getting rid of stuff make it conducive to justice magic? Because we are empowered to strip our grievances down to the simplest data and information. Emotional appeals to sympathy or outrage may have helped you get to a point where you realize you needed equity, but these will not win your case for you, okay? Justice requires that you deal with what is factual and what is deserved based on material truths. So use this magical time to cut the BS out of your petition for redress. Whatever petty behavior and hard feelings arose as a result of an imbalanced situation, those things are now no more than decoration. Focus on laying down the simple truth that will bring about a practical and satisfying outcome for you. And also today, Venus strikes the mode of accommodation with Pluto some 60 hours before moving on into Virgo. This transition will require some attention on our parts, inviting us to adjust our attractor beams as we make the slow shift out of bold and showy Venus in Leo to particular and caring Venus in Virgo. This opportunity to consciously shift how we express our values lasts through October 9. On Sunday the 7th, the Sun in Libra makes a quincunx adjustment to Jupiter. Retrograde in Taurus, Jupiter is. These planets are both in signs ruled by Venus. So this is very much a conversation about self-worth and what we value in our relationships, and also the nice things we like to have. So in our work, social, and civic lives, we are trying to accommodate and reflect with our actions the new and expanding sense of self-worth we have developed as a result of the recent Venus retrograde. And now Jupiter retrograde asks us to make room in our hearts for more of what we would love to express. This could be a good time to ask for a raise or consider raising your prices if you work independently. Furthermore, it could be a good time to express yourself and your values when you catch somebody else expecting you to care less about fair play. The Sun quincunx Jupiter energy will stay with us through October 9. Then on Sunday the 8th, Venus moves on into Virgo, out of the fire and into the earth to disperse the heat and bring healing and security to yourself and your relationships, to romance, to friendship, to have nice things. Think of it like the cool down after a challenging workout. Treat your heart and the hearts of others with compassion at this time. Venus's transit in Virgo will last about 4 weeks through October 9. Also that day, Mars culminates a challenge with Pluto 63 hours before moving on into Scorpio. This is a catalyst for action as we make this shift from an impatient yet strategic Mars into a more powerful position for this action-oriented planet. You may find yourself facing a hump to get over before you can get back in the fight. The payoff will be worth the effort. We will be released from this call to action around October 18. About 10 days on that one. And then on Monday the 9th, Venus culminates an opposition with Saturn retrograde, perhaps bringing about some conflict regarding what we want versus what is practical. Venus is newly in Virgo here, ruled by Mercury, which is now in Libra. So what we want has shifted away from recognition, from what we want, okay, has shifted away from recognition for the way we shine into something more thoughtful, like conversations that heal and establishing bonds that add stability to our lives. Saturn, however, at this time is the sand that shifts with the tides. It may be a little challenging to find your footing when it comes to romance and finance. This challenge will keep you on your toes through about the 17th. Tuesday the 10th, Pluto goes direct. Pluto is our far out planet that moves us through the small changes that add up to big transformations. Usually this takes time, but these transitions can happen abruptly, especially if you've been resisting the opportunity to regenerate into a bigger, better version of yourself. Pluto's transits are long, and now that it is moving forward again, it will leave Capricorn for the last time this coming January 22nd of 2024, and it won't return to Capricorn for over 200 years. They say it's always darkest before the dawn. We are living in epic times, to be sure. Expect to notice foundations of all kinds shake and crumble between now and the end of the year, and a new day will rise in 2024. Also, next Tuesday, the Sun stands in potential conflict with Chiron retrograde. I view this as an opportunity to pick and choose your battles and perhaps draw some boundary lines with people in our public lives. It's possible that by handling any misunderstandings in a direct and engaged way, we can skip over conflict and instead have productive conversations. And this vibe will be our friend through about the 18th of October. And since we began this 10-day segment in transition, it's only appropriate to end it in transition as well. On Wednesday the 11th, Mars moves on into Scorpio. Mars is at home in Scorpio and therefore more empowered than it was when it was in Libra. We know that Mars is the warrior, a brazen and assertive figure. However, Mars in Scorpio uses less obvious or direct means to reach its goals. The strategies we have developed are now in a powerful position to be put in action, but these will likely be actions taken sort of behind the scenes or by more subtle, less brash means. Mars will travel in Scorpio through November 25 of this year. And the next decan video will go up on Friday, October 13. That's where that comes up. Just before the new moon in Libra, which arrives on Saturday the 14th with a solar eclipse. A little cosmic shakeup to watch and see how the dust settles on our attitudes toward independence and relationship. That's it for today's video, friends. Please drop 3 heart with an arrow emojis in the comments to celebrate the second 10 days of the sun's transit in Libra, where we acknowledge the struggles of loss and transition, but can look forward to healing and a fresh perspective on life. Thanks again for joining me today. I'll catch you all in the next video.